Next, January 9, paid for office cleaning rupees 250. Yesterday I have discussed that if you are making payment of miscellaneous expenses or sundry expenses, means those expenses which are very nominal amount, they are clubbed under one account. So whenever you make pay a nominal amount for office related, they should be clubbed under account that is office expenses. So paid for office cleaning, two accounts are involved. Office cleaning, I have said office expenses. So office expenses are expenses and it is increasing, it should be debited. And the same time cash is a asset and it is decreasing in the business, so it should be credited. And the journal entry will be office expenses. You will write first date, then office expenses debited with 250, and to cash should be credited by 250, being office cleaning paid. Now next is January 10. He withdrew for his personal use cash rupees 20,000 and goods worth rupees 5,000. He means Satyam, who is the owner of the business. He withdrew for his personal use cash rupees 20,000 and goods worth rupees 5,000. Now, two accounts are involved, three accounts in fact. He is drawing cash as well as goods. So drawing account is involved. Drawing, as I told you, drawing is nothing but decrease in capital, and decrease in capital under modern rule is debited. Cash is an asset and it is decreasing from the business because he is withdrawing cash for his personal use. So cash balance is decreasing, it should be credited. Whenever asset is decreasing, it should be credited. Purchase is an expense, and right now whenever you purchase goods, it is increase in the business. Whenever goods taken out from other purposes, sales or sales return, apart from sales and sales return, uh, purchase return. So purchases is treated as decrease in expenses whenever goods are withdrawn for other reason. Other reason in the sense, it shouldn't be sale or purchase return. Apart from these two, whenever we withdraw goods for any other reason, like withdrawn by the owner for personal use, distributed as goods for the charity, etc., so we will credit the purchase. Expenses will be decreased and decrease in expenses should be credited. And the journal entry will be, we will write first date January 10, drawings account debited 25,000, total drawings 20,000. He is withdrawing 20,000 cash and 5,000 goods, so it will total drawing is 25,000, being cash and goods withdrawn for personal use. And now, because this page has been completed, so first of all we sum up the debit amounts and we write it here, and we sum up the credit amount and we will write it here. Both sides should be equal and we will write C/F, that is carried forward, balance carried forward. In the next page we will write brought forward, and the balance will be brought forward here 6,55,950. Now I'm taking the next transaction. Next transaction is on January 11. Sudhir, who owed him rupees 20,000, become insolvent, and final dividend of 60 paise in a rupee is received from his estate by check. In this transaction, Sudhir, who owed him, Sudhir is a debtor for him, borrowed from him. Owed him, who owed him means he borrowed money from him. Him means Satyam. So Sudhir is a debtor for the Satyam, for the business, and he become insolvent. Insolvent means incapable to pay his debt. And final dividend of 60 paise in a rupee received from his estate by check. So he become insolvent, and only 60 paise in a rupee means 60% can be recovered from him, and it is recovered through check. So three accounts are involved: bank account, bad debts, and Sudhir. Bank, because he is making payment through check. So bank is right now I'm using conventional rule. Bank under conventional rule, personal account. We are receiving check, so actual receiver is bank. Debit the receiver, credit the giver, so bank account will be debited. Bad debts, nominal account. It is a expense for the business, loss for the business. Losses, it is a loss for the business and should be debited. Bad debt is the amount which is irrecoverable from him. So irrecoverable amount is 40%, that is 40% of the 20,000, that is 8,000. And Sudhir is a Sudhir is a personal account. He is a giver of loss as a bad debt and also made the payment through check, that is cash payment through check. And so he is a giver, so it should be credited. Personal account rule is debit the receiver, credit the giver. So he should be credited. Now the journal entry will be, we will write first date January 11, bank account debited with 12,000, 60% of the 20,000. Bad debt which is irrecoverable should be debited with 8,000. Sudhir is a giver of loss as well as payment, so he should be credited with 20,000. And the narration will be, bank being Sudhir become insolvent and only 60 paise in a rupee recovered from his estate through check. Now I'm taking the next one. January 12, goods costing rupees goods costing rupees goods costing rupees goods costing rupees 80,000 sold to Mohan for rupees 1 lakh. So if you analyze this transaction, two accounts are involved. Mohan and sales. Because cash is not mentioned in the transaction, so it is a credit sales, Mohan and sales. And cost price as well as selling price is given. Whenever you are selling goods and the same time cost price is also mentioned in the transaction, you will ignore the cost price, you will consider only the selling price. Don't bother about the profit or loss on sale, that will be automatically calculated at the time of preparing a financial statement. So you will right now, whenever in any transaction, if cost price of the goods sold is given, then you do not consider the cost price while recording the sales, you consider the only selling price. So two accounts are involved, Mohan and sales. Mohan is a personal account, he is the receiver of the goods. Debit the receiver, credit the giver, so here Mohan should be debited. Sales is a nominal account, it's an income for the business, so it should be credited. Nominal account rule is debit all expenses, credit all income. So sales account should be credited, and you will write it here. You first write the date January 12. Mohan should be debited with 1 lakh and sales should be credited with 1 lakh. Sales selling price was given 1 lakh. So we will consider the selling price being goods sold on credit. Now next transaction is January 15, received January 15, received rupees 15,000 of a bad debt written off last year. So last year there was some bad debt of rupees 15,000 which you have shown in your book. means you would have written off in your books. Now that debtor is making payment of that 15,000. So bad debt which is written last year, now you are receiving in this year. So this is an income, and two accounts are involved: bad debt recovered account and cash account. So two accounts are involved: cash account and bad debt recovered account. So cash is a real account, it is coming into the business, so it should be debited. Bad debt recovered account is a nominal account, it's an income for the business right now, and it should be credited. So the journal entry, you will write it: cash, first you write the date, cash account debit, and bad debt recovered account credited with 15,000 being bad debt recovered. I'm taking the next transaction. January 17, cash paid for installation of machine rupees 5,000. So we are making payment of installation charges of on machine. So when, as we have discussed, whenever you are incurring any expenses on installing or erection of any asset, that should be treated as a capital expenditure, or in other words, that should be capitalized and should be debited to the asset account. That expenses become the cost of that asset. So again here, again in this case also, two accounts are involved. Installation charges will be debited to machine account. So machine account is involved and cash account is involved. Machine is a real account, it is coming into the business and it should be debited. Cash is a real account, it going out from the business, so it should be credited. So the journal entry will be January 17, machinery account debited with 5,000, cash to cash account with 5,000 being installation charges paid on machine. Now next is January 18, purchased a horse for business for rupees 1,50,000 and payment made by check. As we have discussed, when you are purchasing animal, it should be recorded under one account, that is known as livestock. So two accounts are involved: livestock, horse will be treated as a livestock, and we are making payment through check, that is bank account is involved. Livestock is an asset, real account, it's coming into the business, so it should be debited. And the same time, bank is a personal account, it is a giver of cash, so it should be credited. And the journal entry will be livestock. First we write down the date, then livestock account debited with 1,50,000 to bank credited with 1,50,000 being horse purchased through check. Now last transaction is January 21. The horse bought on January 18 died. Actually 15 it is written wrongly. It should be 18. Its carcass was sold for 10,000. So horse which we have purchased just 3 days back, it died and its carcass or dead body sold for rupees 10,000. So we have purchased for 1,50,000 and we have a loss of 1,40,000. So cash is involved, loss on sale is involved, and livestock, that is dead body or dead horse. So livestock account is involved. So cash is a real account, it should be debited because it is coming into the business, 10,000 rupees. Loss on sale will be recorded under account profit and loss account. So here it is loss on sale is a nominal account, it is loss, so it should be debited. Livestock is a real account, asset, it is an asset, it is going out from the business, so it should be credited. So the journal entry will be cash account debited with 10,000 and the loss will be debited with the account, that is profit and loss account, with 1,40,000 to livestock account should be credited. 1,50,000. Horse died and its carcass sold for 1,10,000. So after that, because this is and the question ends here, so we will sum up the total of the debit column and the credit column, and we will write it here at the end in this way, and we will write total here. Thank you, dear student. And I also uploading the homework for you. Please go through and solve it in your notes. Thank you. Have a nice day.